So just love hearing you talk. Keep it going. So what we probably should do is like just let's handicap this race 7 together. You know, it's the next live race, so we'll have some fun and then we'll call it a night if everyone's okay. Yeah, that 9 really hits the ground hard. I wouldn't like him coming back. So the 7th is a turf route. Wow, it's a short field, huh?
Yeah, I got a lot of scratches for some reason.
Yeah. So still kind of looks a little bit contentious. A couple of circles here. Let's go to.
Yeah, we still have fire. Wait, hold on there for a second, because you still have the fire. Can we go back to the plot real quick?
Yeah.
Because the pace is interesting, right? Because it's one of those where I know the contention's fire, but you just have that one EP type runner,
right?
And that high speed rate here. So it looks kind of like an off the pace type plot. So when we get into the.
Oh, you know what? You know what it is, Emily? You got sprinters stretching out. Basically.
Yeah.
That's why it looks like that.
Right. So I would be kind of looking that way. Current favorite is the 7. The 7 opened up at 5-2.
Okay, I'd be against the 7.
Agree.
Yeah.
And then the 4.
Because the 7 is a sprinter. Look, if you look at the 7, he's a closing sprinter to me. Almost like not even a closing sprinter. I mean, yeah.
No, she's running routes.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm talking about like I think her thing is closing sprinter because she doesn't finish on the route, right?
Yeah.
She's a closing sprinter. That's what she is. So I'm against that horse.
But that's why she's getting bet, because people are seeing those route races here at Del Mar, like, oh my gosh, she just loves Del Mar. She loves it here, but they're like perfect and lone. Everybody loves that.
Yeah. And she couldn't get it done in a lone when she was lone, against this level last time at Del Mar. So, and she's not gonna be lone probably. Let's look at the 1 as the other speed, right?
Yeah.
Who's actually the speed? Actually, the 1, right? Okay, 1 is the actual, So this horse is against the flow last time. I mean, I like the 1 better than the 7 right away, just because I think this horse is a legitimate, speed horse in this race. Kind of a little bit all over the place, right? And what's this trainer switch? I'm not familiar with what's going on in Southern Cal.
So Sadler has a suspension, so Juan Leiva's the assistant. So it's just it's Sadler.
Okay. Whatever happened to the other guy who used to be his assistant?
Benavides?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. So the 1 looks like speed. Looks like I would assume the 3.
I like this horse a little bit. I think she's sneaky. Yeah. I mean, Connections, they lost her last time out, made the big drop in class, but she had, if you just look, she had some bad class to her, at least, running in the allowance and the excuse in the stakes race and the B in the other stakes race. So I think just kind of like between the layoff lines, there being somewhat of an issue there. Maybe that was part of the reason, but she easily beat that field. I don't know. I don't see why not.
It looks to me they're trying to find a distance for her. It's like, she's not a sprinter, right? And like she would be probably perfect for downhill.
Yeah.
Right. And so she's she actually ran a big race down the hill, which is the biggest. Oh man, I'm so disappointed.
Look at her first race. Look at her first race here. That Del Mar race back in 2017. Yep.
What is she on the board? 4-1. She's the price right now. It looks like big trainer change. Blacker to O'Neill.
This plot. The plot looks like the Jenny Wiley, John. Emily.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Right.
Let's look at the 8 because she's currently the favorite right now, 2-1. The 7 on that second click went up a little bit, so the 8
got
is
the lower double though. Did you look?
I don't know. I don't have it in front of
Okay.
me.
Okay. So the 8 is kind of a stalker, right?
She's like kind of in quad 1, I think.
But she hasn't done. I mean, she's been running against better, right? Let's look at the. We just want to compare class comparisons. Yeah, she's okay. I don't necessarily know why she's the favorite.
Yeah, I'm
And
not.
it's coming out of much longer races. You know?
Yeah, I wasn't crazy about her. I mean, she, in my opinion, like she had, even though some of those races they were against tougher, they were longer, whatever, she just didn't show much without any excuse. And it's like I don't know why that's going to change here. I mean, she ran at this condition May 16th, pocket plotty. Like I don't know, I don't get it.
I know why she's getting played because of Boltus and Pratt.
Yeah, well, for sure. And they won a race already, and that filly ran a big race. But let's look at the 5, because the 5 is high on the class comparison.
Except for last race. So this is the last race. So she kind of run at the same level. Yeah.
She looks good.
She's solid.
Mm-hmm.
Second off a layoff.
Has class as well. I think she's a better miler. I think if you look at just her mile races.
Yeah, well, you got shorter here too. Shorter. You know, when she was going 9 furlongs, she's running against much better horses than anybody. Right?
And even, you know, yeah, I mean, you could even kind of make an excuse for the November 24th race because of the layoff that followed, you know, whether it was just kind of a tough campaign catching up with her or the ship or something like that, you know, just kind of not, oh, the blinkers were added. Maybe that was a failed experiment, you know, something like that.
She gets a solid work. We talked about this last time about the jockey changes that we don't go crazy on, but Van Dyke ends up, I guess, just maybe he's got a commitment to you know, I'd rather be committed to Mandela than Callahan.
Yeah.
So I'm not giving the double. I just saw a pick 3. Looked like the 8 was a big favorite on the pick 3.
Yeah, big favorite.
Yeah.
And
to me,
on the doubles.
the value
and on
horses,
the doubles, she's a big favorite. The 1 is second in the doubles. 8-1, 5-7-3.
What about the 4? Did we look at? To me, so far, the value horses are 3 and 5 for me.
Same.
We're thinking maybe this 4 needs more ground, huh? Maybe a more 9 furlong horse. Well, I'm not sure. Stretch at 8 furlongs.
I mean, does she win? Not really.
Might be another plot 1 pace type of horse.
Yeah.
You know? She kind of needs a setup to win, right? That was the last time she won. She had a setup. Tactic plus. I mean, you can see she had positive things go right for her on all her wins.
And that was 2018.
Yeah. So I'm 3-5 here.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any thoughts? Donald, anything on the?
I like your
You're not
handicap.
following this one.
I'm a follower.
The other thing
Also-
is, you know, like high speed rating, high contention. You know, it's just a pattern. You know, like look, we went through the race. This is just another thing that you can add to your, you know, understanding of the race. But typically, what we see is, you know, it benefits horses that are squares, and this is where, you know, because it's always against, you know, quadrants 4 is tough to win from, but this, if it's going to win, usually a scenario and a plot that kind of looks like this. So, and you always want value when you're playing these deep closers, or, you know, perceived to be deep closers in the plot in quadrant 4. But here's the thing. I just wanted to point one other thing out. Let's go to the quad percentage, because in Del Mar and turf races, the quadrant 4 squares do much better than they do in other places. So keep that in mind. You see the 3, 4, and 5 have the best plots. You know, like the numbers, again, you're looking at what's above and below, and what we're comparing is both the standard surface distance and looking at you know, kind of the percentages of those versus the other horses in the race. So those horses come out on top. So 3, 4, and 5 are the Q4 squares in your case. So again, Del Mar, a little different. You always got to look at your track profile, and that's why this quad percentage is very useful.
And I mean, the thing is too, like if, you know, the 8 being such a strong favorite in those pools, not even just on the board, but in the doubles and the pick 3. And this is now starting your pick 4. So you have to think she's going to be on most of your tickets in the pick 4, right? So if you're able to beat this 8 right here to start it off, you're going to already beat a lot of tickets.
Yeah, I may include the 4 there too, if that's the case. You know, as maybe a B, you know, a tier 2 horse. So I may emphasize the 3 and 5 a little more, and then use the 4 as a backup. But yeah, that's the idea. Maybe to beat the 8, 7, and 8, because you take a lot of. I mean, if the 3, 4, 5 win, that's going to be a huge price for your pick multi-race wagers. So. And you know, you just take the closers and do an exacta box 3, 4, 5. That's another way to do it. Lots of ways to go.
No, it's pretty much the same. 8, 5 is now the second choice, and then everybody else is sitting at 5. 5 to 1 on the 1, 3.
Dead on the board, huh?
Yeah, I had that early money. I must have just like saw that first splash at Del Mar.
The morning line favorite, yeah.
Oh, what is she? She's the morning line favorite. Maybe that's what it flashed on. Okay.
Did we lose everybody? Am I talking to myself?
No.
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you. I just want to make sure.
Oh, we're good. It's post time now, but they're dragging getting over to the turf course for some reason. I've noticed that they are doing a little bit of post drag at Del Mar, which I just don't.
On the 5.
That's exactly, this leads to this point. Like, I don't know why they're dragging it out. It's the summer, things are hot. Like, why are you leaving these horses out on the track longer than they need to be? It doesn't make sense. You're asking for horses to wash out, get dehydrated, take some longer to recover. It's just not smart. There's really, I mean, I get it. You want to squeeze in every dollar, but you got to close the pool at some point.
I'm a person that like just do really simple things, you know, and do them well. You don't have to worry about it. Racing just did it like, and they could do this like tomorrow if they, you know, make the races go off on time. If they don't run during the rain, right? If they had a video of an overhead of a, you know, photo right away, so we would know who wins, like in Hong Kong and Japan, stuff like that, and even in Europe. You know, these photos that take forever and they keep showing you the same photo where you can't tell who won. And you know, if they do some just simple things like that, it would just show that they're kind of serious and they care about, you know, like their viewing audience. I mean, that's, you know, just start simple. It just seems like they have no regard. It's like if I ever did something with and the reason what's great about Optix is because I'm probably the biggest user of Optix, me and Emily. So if we're going to do something, you know, we're thinking of ourselves. I think racing needs to do a little of that. Think of yourself as the customer. And, you know, when you do something like, oh, we're going to do that. Oh, I'm not going to make a change there. It's going to affect people. They may not be get their PPs soon enough and all the rest. They need to do the same thing, but they don't. And you can't tell them. I don't understand it. It would just improve the product dramatically, these simple things, and no more hurting. I mean, it's ridiculous. If your horse can't run straight, he shouldn't be in the race. That's just another, that's one of those 4 things you do, and it could improve racing, and it would just tell everyone else you're serious about racing.
You know, we don't have leadership
Right,
in the industry that respects the horse player, so that kind of leads to these poor decisions.
Well, you just respect the horse too. Don't keep him out there in the heat. You know, respect that. Don't physical. You know, don't have these jockeys be able to veer into other jockeys and horses and could hurt them. I mean, those things are just, I think, simple to do.
Yeah, fiery rod. Get rid of them.
They're off. So the
And
one broke on top. The 7 is under a hold, but pulling has enough speed to kind of go with her. They're wrangling the 8 back off the pace. So we'll see how this circle does. This quad 1 circle does from quad 4 currently. 3 sitting in the pocket, 4 kind of tracking the pacers. They're actually going faster than it looks. The 5 is saving ground. Currently kind of no change as they move on the backside. 1 still getting pressure from 7. 3 sitting in that pocket, 4 tracking. 5 comfortable, saving ground inside. 8 still on a hold, kind of uncovered at the back. 46 for the half. So still pretty swift. That's that high speed rating kind of kicking in.
Yeah, start to stretch it out.
Yeah, going into turn. 4's kind of getting scrubbed along. This is kind of that plotty. 5's going to start.
I want the 3 here if you can get some room.
The 5 looks like the 5 started to move, and then she kind of got stuck behind horses. The 8's going to try to sweep outside. The 5's going to save ground, try to split these 2. 3 angled out off the inside. She's late changing leads. 5's looking for room between horses. She got through. We got 5-3. The 8's on the wrong lead. We got 5-3, 4 plotty. Dun, dun, dun. Nailed it again. 5-3.
There we go. Exactly.
Easy peasy.
You're welcome.
All right. It was worth the 20 minutes of silence.
Yeah. Okay.
Semi-solid.
Okay. Well, that wraps it for this week, folks. Hope you had a good time. Hope you cashed a couple of tickets there. Some good information. So I'm going to end the meeting, and thank you for all joining, and thanks for your support of Optics. We're coming on strong. Thanks.
See you guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Good night, Donald.